it's harder than that to make porn, apparently. That's what I found out. So,
like, it's literally like, I think that two consenting adults should be able to, one, fuck, or two, kill each other if both are consenting and aware of the consequences without the law stepping in.
Yeah, I agree. One day. Hey everyone, welcome back to Stereotypical Podcast. This
is your welcome everybody.
That's totally going to be the opening bit, Brayden. It's you being like, I was
about to say, like, the opening bit last week was you guys, I miss our friends, and I'm just over here going, quit telling everyone I'm dead. And this just starts up with like, oh yeah, here's everything that you need to do to make sure you are legally safe if you want to commit a murder without committing to a murder.
It's self-defense. Like, that's what it would be.
You're like, we're gonna start seeing responses like, was Brayden in jail last week?
They'll question it a little bit.
No, like, I was going last week because instead of like talking about taking lives, I was at a ceremony celebrating saving lives, so it was a little bit different. But
we didn't record that. We didn't record that night. So that episode that you would have missed out on is today's episode that we're recording today.
Oh, I thought you guys, you guys had one, and then just okay, that works.
No, yeah, man.
Yeah. Talking for like an hour anyway.
Yeah, we just it's about the stream. So
yeah. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention this. So we either have to redo it or figure out somehow to fix it. Or if I can save the VOD, I didn't even look into it. I got mad after it happened. But it turns out my SSD is full. And that's what I was dumping the video footage into, and I didn't make sure that it was going into my hard drive like it needed to. Anyway, I'm missing like half the footage.
No,
it's that one meme where it's like, "Hey guys, I need help with my budget," right? Where it's like, I spend $20 on fast food, $10 on electricity, $2,000 a month on candles, and $30 on Netflix subscriptions. What can I do to reduce my budget? And they're like, can you stop spending so much on candles? No. So it's like, Brandel, hey guys, I need to allocate this much for our footage. I have pictures of my child. I have games. I have 24 terabytes of midget porn.
Okay.
They prefer to be called little people. I apologize for anyone I may have offended by this. And I also have I also have previous footage that's 10 gigabytes. How can I allocate more space for my footage? Like, what about deleting some of the porn? No, that's not an option. I need it.
That's so funny.
I'm sorry, that's not an option. I need it.
Yeah, all of it is needed.
It's priorities,
Yeah.
He sets it up like an airport surveillance camera site, but just with a bunch of different videos of midget porn going on. Just
he's
1,000 screens.
It's an algorithm where he inputs a numerical value on how horny he is that day, and it comes out with a perfect video.
Yep. And then he's
one is just like someone in lingerie dancing. If he puts in a 10, you don't want to know what happens next.
Eventually he'll sell it to Pornhub for millions.
80% of the time it works every time. Not sponsored by Bucked Up. The label's not out on purpose. It's just where the hole is.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Bucked Up, if you want to sponsor me, I will literally do anything. Send me a case.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel the same way about G Fuel. I've been drinking a lot of their carbonated drinks that they sell at the grocery stores. Not like their pre-workout stuff, but I've been obsessed with that.
I don't mind G Fuel. It's not my favorite, but I don't mind it. If I have to go to G Fuel, it's not something that I feel like is too much of a step down.
Well, exactly. So the thing for me is Bangs are my go-to, and those are like crack in a can, or if you've ever drank Red Lines.
Red lines are pretty
things
good.
are insane. Anyway, and so I've been drinking.
You know it's
too many.
illegal to drink more than one red line a day?
Oh, I know, and I have on multiple occasions. Although this is being recording, so no, I haven't.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But it's horrible, and you shouldn't drink a whole bottle in a day anyway. You
Do
Yeah.
as I say, not as I do.
But that's why I go to G Fuel, because it's not as much caffeine as Bang Energy, and so I don't feel like I'm killing myself as hard.
Yeah.
Dude, ugh.
I've been drinking too many energy drinks. I can feel it in my kidneys.
I bet you're building up some stones there, buddy.
I'm sure.
I'm having my caffeine addiction has been so prevalent. I take other I take other supplements to my diet to reduce the effect on the caffeine on my system.
Dear God.
Right, like ashwagandha and astragalus, and they're like, "Why don't you just stop drinking caffeine?" I'm like, "I can't."
No,
Yeah.
it helps me function. Have you ever heard of
You guys wanted to have a meeting at 8:00 in the morning, and you're telling me maybe I should step away from the caffeine? Like, motherfuckers, you are the reason why I need this.
Yeah. Seriously.
getting up that fucking early? I don't know if you guys have anything ready, but I would have a small tangent or topic that I wanted to kind of lead into.
Yeah.
Open us up. Bring it to the meeting.
I bring it up because before it started, I was salty and not in a bad mood, just mostly salty before joining the call, and I'd like to explain why.
Yeah.
Because I was playing Luigi's Mansion, the second one. I hadn't touched it for 6 months, and then I realized there was only 2 more levels on the game, but that still was going to take 2 hours, and I was kind of close on joining us. Anyway, I'm fighting the last enemy for Boo, and then I realize how horrendous the camera controls are. And in this specific instance, when you're fighting him, you have to catch these bombs that he throws at you, and you have to shoot them in his mouth. Well, with the way the camera is fixed on top of the building, and you're trying to shoot it, and me playing on the TV, I can't see or aim where the fuck I'm trying to hit him. And for the last 45 minutes, I was just trying to kill him. And then I lost all the lives that I had gathered from the beginning of the game. They're called bones because your dog come wakes you up. I don't know if you've ever played the game, but anyway, and then they offer these motion controls to try to help, and it helps with the fine tuning. But if you're moving around with the left stick, it fixes Luigi in that specific axis. And so even though you can move up and down, if you start using the motion controls, it'll lock you in that plane. And so if you're not lined up left or right perfectly, it's the most asinine thing that I could ever imagine. And I've never been more frustrated at a video game since Dark Souls 2.
Dude, if we want to talk about bad camera controls, right? Dark Souls 2 is bad.
It is
right?
pretty
Dark
bad.
Souls 1 is bad. They got nothing on the OG PS2 release of the first Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, I believe it. So that was part of the thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, is because I also was playing the emulators that they had on not emulators, I guess just their own original content on the Switch, where if you buy the expansion or whatever, you can play the N64 games, Game Boy Advance, and SNES, and a whole bunch of other old classics, right?
Yeah.
And then I was going through and playing them for a little while, and they're fun. And I just realized on every single one of those, the same problem. The camera and controls is just asinine, especially for trying to use the Switch with certain games. It just doesn't work. And so I went from playing those first to playing Luigi's Mansion, and then getting off because I was so frustrating, and then needing to get on here, still getting on late, and then it just led from one thing to another. And next thing you know, I'm ready to fucking explode.
God damn.
That'd be kind of hot. If you just were to
Burst.
Yeah. I'll just take my frustration out on you guys.
Fucking do it, Daddy.
do it, Daddy.
So my whole question was...
I've been naughty and you're so frustrated. Do me.
Yeah, you gonna hit me?
So my whole question for this if I can get myself together now was if you guys had any specific examples that really grinded your gears or
Dude, any single like Kingdom Hearts 1 I think is like the most egregious example that I'm very familiar with. But if you go back to any of the OG Nintendo 64 games back when they didn't know how to do 3D graphics, any of those games, they're all shit.
I played the Mario 64 as one of those examples. I was like, this is the one that's I hated that I didn't hate the most because you could at least fix your position with the Z trigger and then put yourself back in alignment. So that was the closest thing they had to a working thing with the shitty ass N64 controller. But playing some of these other games where it requires you to have a C-stick to control the camera, but it uses the right thumbstick rather than the D-pad where you think it would logically go, because it displays the D-pad on the screen, but it wants you to use the right stick for the C-stick as if it was the N64 controller.
Yeah.
It's the most fucking asinine thing I've ever come across. So I probably will never touch the ones on the Switch again.
No, they're just dumb. All right, but then again, like camera controls is something that, like, if they aren't good, you immediately notice, right? But if they are good, you don't notice if they are good because you don't want to be thinking about the camera. You want to be thinking about the gameplay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. So it's you always hear about bad camera controls, but good camera controls, like, is there any game that you guys can think of where the camera is like a notable pro to the game?
That's actually a really good point. I can't think of anything right off the bat, except for the ones that allow 360 freeform control, and even then, like the Soulsborne series, like they do okay, but it's not like it's the most refined thing for that kind of game. At the same time, I'm not sure who could top that, or what game would top that.
I'll get shit for this, but Armored Core's camera is actually pretty good once you get the hang of it. If you turn it up to 10, and then if you get like your quick turn, so you need to have your quick turn, and you need to have like a snap. There's like a OS upgrade that you can get. Oh, I finally unlocked multiplayer in that too, by the way.
You have to unlock it?
Yeah, you just have to progress through enough of the main campaign.
What are you, like, halfway through it?
Dude, I've heard that game is like substantial as all hell.
It's really good. I'm about to beat it. I'm on the last boss, so I ended up just looking up the best I guess like setup for your AC. Your Metal Gear, essentially.
Right. Okay.
And because I just was not getting through certain levels on some builds that I like to play. I just die too quickly on some of the bosses, and then I switched to this like dual like machine gun build with like these dual cannons on your shoulders. Eviscerates fucking everything. Like the entire game became a joke afterwards. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is just Elden Ring, where you get one sword."
No, like it's not Elden Ring. It's Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that matters is Monster Hunter is what gear you are using. You don't level up. It's only what gear, right?
Yeah.
And like on Monster Hunter, I could go, if I want to have fun in this game, I want my dual blades, I want my sword and shield.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I want my fun shit. But this Rathalos is pissing me the fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't do it. This thing's hard as shit. Fucking pink Rathalos or Rathian or whatever the fuck. I don't care. I'm a switch to longsword for the next 20 minutes. I'm not going to enjoy what I'm about to do, but I just can't take it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Very fair. Very, very fucking fair.
So to be honest with you, I really didn't have much more than that. I just needed to say that because I fucking was salty as all hell. But did you have anything, or you said Armored Core, but do you think that's like the leading example right now?
People will disagree with me, but yeah, that or honestly, Tears of the Kingdom's camera was pretty good. I know what's weird is people were complaining about it, but I thought it worked well. Like I never really got in the way of fights, and
yeah, and maybe I'm too spoiled by modern day games. And when I started off playing the old classics, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then a lot of times it just feels like it's really hard to sit through certain things and scenes and gameplay scenarios, you know. It's like, oh my god. And then I go to a new title like Luigi's Mansion 2, and granted I hadn't played this for 6 months, so I was rusty to begin with, but just sitting on top of that hotel, because you know, or the mansion, and having the fixed camera, and then having no idea if Luigi's plunger holding the bomb that's on a timer that does, so it don't explode in your face, and you can't tell if it's high enough or if it's way too low. And about 9 times out of 10, I was always shooting it way too fucking high. And then I was correct and just completely miss. And it's just like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
I would want to say, if we want to go to the extreme on both sides of the spectrum, VR is that's the most extreme.
Yeah,
right?
That is
because
true.
If it's good, like if you guys ever heard of Moss, if it's good, you are in the game, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you feel like the camera, where you're just looking at where you want the camera to look, and it's amazing, it's awesome, it's seamless, you are immersed, and it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
That's the extreme on the good side. But if the camera is bad on VR, you just start throwing up uncontrollably, and you feel like utter shite for the next 72 hours.
I was only to play VR once, and I got sick, and I have not played VR since.
It was
it was Beat Saber.
Well, that game's a little much to start with, though.
Yeah. I love Beat Saber, but like if that's your first experience into VR and you immediately start hitting some of the harder songs, like I know you would, that's gonna make you sick.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name on it. It's like Mars Mission or something like that on the PSVR. No, actually, that wasn't the worst. The worst VR game that I've ever played that has made me like uncomfortably extremely motion sick was Doom VR.
Oh, I bet. Holy shit, I bet.
Doom VR. I bought it, right? Yeah. I played it for like 45 minutes, and I literally had to throw up. Immediately refunded it and went, nope, I'm just never going to play that again. That's it. Never touching that again.
That game is so fucking fast paced. I can't imagine trying to have the headset on you.
No, dude, it like I put it on and it was like, oh, this is going to be bad. And I usually don't get motion sickness from VR games.
Yeah.
Damn.
I do. And it just depends. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then one of the ways that people say, hey, if you're getting motion sickness from VR games, you should have left it on the default settings, where instead of seamless rotation, you rotate on a set number of degrees every time that you click left. And that's supposed to fix your motion sickness. And I'm like, no. I had that game on the most amount of those you could do. It still made me sick.
Damn.
Right? Because at first I usually don't play with that on, so I like turned it off. Be like, okay, this usually doesn't bother me. Let's see. Put it on and then moved like my camera to the left, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I need that on. Turned it on, and it was still making me sick. I'm like, nope, I just can't do it. This game does not work.
Yeah,
like this does not work. I need to take I would need to take so much anti-nausea shit.
Yeah, no, for real.
That game was never designed with the intention of having the screen right on your eyeballs.
Yeah.
And having a 3D perspective like you need to.
Yeah, it was Yeah, that game did not translate well at all.
Yeah. Oh, man, there's one game I do want to try on the VR. Have you guys seen that one where it's like you play as like a wizard or sorcerer or something, and like you like get like swords and you're just in an arena and you're like killing people?
Yes, and there's like a sandbox type of deal, and I see people like fusing lightsabers together, like making like the shurikens from Naruto or some weird shit like that. Yes, I want to play that. I don't know what it's called, but
I can't remember.
I'm not
quite
sure what that one is.
Oh, it's
I think Charlie played it once.
It's literally, I don't know if it's NPCs or if you can have other players or what, but you're just in this giant arena and there's a lot of weapons and shit that you can put together and fuse together and make new weapons or make whatever hybrids you want. Or
you can throw like fireballs. They're like
there's like hyper realistic physics, and so like Tyler's saying, there's like wizards, and so there's different elements and spells and
you can like force choke someone and bring him to you and like grab him, lift him up, and slam him on the ground and beat the shit out of them. Like it's like for VR games, I feel like that's where like the masculine dream would be.
I feel like that's just a rage room, but for VR.
Yeah, exactly.
You go to Polygon or Kotaku, and then you find the article where it's like, it made me feel like I was actually killing people, and I was so sick, and I couldn't live with myself. This should not be allowed. This toxic masculinity game. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up, Kotaku. But you guys don't understand. When I pulled the trigger on my VR gun and I saw the bullet fly out and kill someone, I felt that, and it was hard, and we're going to have so many more shooters. Shut up, Kotaku. No one's listening. No one's listening.
Blade and Sorcery is what it's called.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yes, that is the one that I would like to get.
But I also don't have a VR headset yet.
I need to get a VR headset as well eventually.
Yeah, I used to have one for the PlayStation 4. I have no idea where it went, but it was kind of neat.
Oh, it's only $20.
Yeah, holy shit.
Oh.
4.5 on Metacritic and 10 out of 10 on Steam.
For a VR game, that's pretty solid.
Well, because like it's Elder Scrolls in VR essentially with some things is what it's kind of like how I first viewed it. I was like, oh, cool, you can like. And like you can get like spells and you can like wrap flame around your sword, and it's just really fucking cool.
It really is like the masculinity sandbox that everyone wants.
Really though.
Well, literally, I'm looking at one of the pictures, and this guy has a rainbow assortment of lightsabers stuck inside the pillar, and the guy has heads disembodied shoved onto
it's like the Star Wars extended universe before Disney perverted it, where it's like, oh yeah, my armor is just made out of lightsabers.
God damn.
Okay.
Yeah, this is my lightsaber broadsword. Fuck you.
Oh shit, dude, that was wild. Disney sabers, man.
This lightsaber is a whip. The extended universe for Star Wars used to be so nutty. Disney just fucked it up so bad.
Well, Luke used to be able to like make a black hole out of the Force.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, like I was told to go find kyber crystals to build my lightsaber, but like, wouldn't it be cool if I just made an umbrella? But all of the posts that you would attach the actual umbrella to were lightsabers, and I could just like spin it around.
Yep. It's very true. Just well, that's kind of what General Grievous was, right? Because he just
that's true.
But imagine if he had like 6 in each hand.
That is true. He would have been undefeated.
It's like, oh yeah, no, it looks like a shield, but I'm just spinning it so fast.
I mean, in a lot of those like videos, I see people playing it, just gameplay videos, and it really shows like some of the masochistic side of people, because they get really into it, and you can tell that they're just playing and not realizing that they're being recorded or whatever. Or even if they are, they just don't care. And they'll just do some crazy shit. And like one of them, I remember the guy was force choking one of the dummies, or whatever you want to call them, people, and was holding up in the air, threw his lightsaber out like a frisbee or like a boomerang, goes out, comes back, decapitates him. The lightsaber lands in the ground facing up. But in the process of that, the head gets decapitated. He grabs the head, or he's still holding the head, and he throws the head and throws it on top of the lightsaber like a pike.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I saw someone rip someone's head off and then beat another person with that guy's head. Like,
dude, some of us just never recovered from Game of Thrones. Okay,
yeah.
I can tell, man. People are still living there.
Oh man,
but
they need to make VR gloves where, and then like. Wait, do they have that where it's like
so that's something I have been following for quite some time.
You just want the power glove to work.
Essentially, yeah.
So this guy, I forget his name. He actually was on Linus Tech Tips for a while, a couple years ago, showing off
Linus's vaginuses.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they've said that exact same joke. And this guy who'd come in, he was an engineer's kid, student. I'm sure he's well past graduated now, but he was one of the ones working on haptic feedback gloves. And the simple principle of it, which I found really cool, is that it has all the whistles and dials and sensors, and the biggest issue is trying to dial it down and making it small enough and so it's not so bulky. But basically, besides the sensors, the only thing that is required besides the gloves going over to your hands is having these pulley systems that arch over your fingers that go towards the back of your hand and have a very slight tension.
Oh, so you feel like you're grabbing something.
Yes. And they change that based on whatever you're trying to do. And it's super crazy.
I would say actually the best way that could work, have you guys ever played on the PS5 DualSense controller?
Yeah.
Like the triggers do that.
Oh, they have like a kind of like almost a weight to them.
Yeah, and you could change the weight. So the developers can go through and they could adjust the triggers and how they feel. So like if there's a game called Returnal which uses it really well, to where if you press to the halfway mark when you're aiming, you aim and then you can fire, right? But it stops at the halfway mark.
Oh, it really does?
Yeah, it stops at the halfway mark.
Okay.
But if you pull past that halfway mark and it's unmistakable, you enter your weapon's alternate fire mode, where now when you fire, you're shooting a completely different weapon. And then you can literally seamlessly do it past them.
That's really cool.
It's extremely well implemented. So I would say if you just figure out a way to do that, or if you pick it up, you make it harder. Like I think that would work just fine.
That would be interesting.
I'm gonna Google real quick, figure out.
Or like, I don't know which games do this, but I know the little tech demo game that comes with the PlayStation 5, what they do is if you have a gun, you can pull on the trigger, but every bullet that comes out of your gun, the developers programmed it to fight you on the trigger. So the trigger is jumping in and out of your finger, so that way you're feeling the recoil on the weapon.
Okay. Shit. Oh, and then my other idea for that too, for like movement, would just be to create like a little foot pad, and you just lean to like, if you want to walk forward and you kind of lean to your side, and you like shift your body weight to like kind of choose where you want to go, almost like you're on like a hoverboard.
That could be okay. Like I've seen it where they set up like a little
like a treadmill,
like a treadmill almost. And I feel like that's okay, but I just don't know if there's nothing that made me go, okay, this is the extent of the technology. Now is a good time to like go all in.
Yeah, I get everything. See, I just think the like using the hoverboard like kind of like movement where you just lean and like shift your weight would feel more natural for movement in VR as opposed to like, I mean, other than walking. Yeah, obviously a treadmill is like cool and shit, but you know what I mean.
But it feels awkward to try to walk in place, you know?
It does, yeah.
And
it does.
Leaning forward would be, I feel like, a good solution, but be like another button on a controller you would just have to get used to.
But the problem is that seamless, like, moving what your eyes see instead of actually moving your body, that's going to be the thing that causes the most amount of motion sickness.
Right.
Well, but in hoverboards, you don't kind of feel that. At least I haven't felt that. So I felt like if you're shifting your body weight, right? And like, let's say you can get something where like you can turn with it. So it's just like little pads that you just stick to the bottom of like your shoe or like your feet. You know, and it just senses that. I feel like that'd be an easier way to represent movement without having you move.
I think that would work. Just requires a lot of fine tuning.
Well, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Braden?
I was gonna say like I see the biggest challenges with that would be like how does it read sensors? Because with a lot of the VRs on the system right now, it's detecting a light for location. It's using lights and pretty much centralizing off of the view of cameras to figure out where it's located in the room. So you would probably have to have it wired up, and then you would want it to be like first affordable, and then you would want it to be like modular enough where you could just put it on an instruction book and not have it be a whole thing to set it up. So that way your consumer would be able to open it up and just put it to use without needing like a specialist to walk through the steps.
True. Maybe you could do a pulley system. So like you have the pads are connected to like a pulley system with wires that like hook up to your knees. And then like it kind of goes up like through your spine. So like almost like past your belt. So after it hooks up to your knees, the two will converge on like a belt, pull up and connect to your VR headset. And then that way too, you can also kind of have like some tension with it. So you can like kind of, when you're moving in, it's easier to read those inputs based off of like the pulley system.
Right.
But if I did that, what's stopping me from turning it into my own exosuit where I will then proceed to make the real world my video game, if you know what I mean?
That is true. That's true. And nothing would stop that. So
absolutely nothing. You know how easy it is?
That reminds me of the, you guys ever seen SAO Abridged? And they're showing the first trials for the VR suits. And
oh yeah,
and they forgot to disable motor functions. And
it's like some guy started fighting in the game and he's just beating the shit out of his roommate.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that's how it would happen if we had no cables and just Bluetooth everything or some kind of wireless transmission.
I can see that.
Dude, it's like what I always say. Maintain plausible deniability at all times.
Hey, look, I just had a VR headset. I don't know what happened.
That is true. Well,
actually,
Sorry.
if we're done with, if we're nearing the end of that conversation, plausible deniability leads excellently into mine.
I'm good with going into yours.
All right.
It's not like Tyler was going to try to hop onto that too, but I'm curious.
No, I'm curious too. I'm more curious. I feel like my bit wouldn't have been all that good.
Okay, so plausible deniability, right?
Yeah.
So, we had my fiance's parents and my grandparents over here over the weekend for the ceremony, right? And then after they all took off, we were like, we want to go do something. We want to go do something out of our way, like something a little fun. Just something cool, right?
Yeah.
So I know you don't like the house plants, right, Ty?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but we were like, you know what? There's a massive greenhouse. And with all they have at the greenhouse is a bunch of plants that they import from Ecuador. Right, and it's a lot of stuff that you don't see at like your Home Depot or your IKEA or what have you, right? So we went over there, and they have a shit ton of tables, and most of the time you're free to just take what you want, go up to the front, pay for it, right?
Yeah.
Here's where plausible deniability kicks in, right?
Okay.
So they have either plants that they are trying to grow up big to take other stuff from, or they have plants that they are importing and they are quarantining them basically to make sure that they are good, right? Yeah. There was some stuff on the table, and a lot of their stuff on that table is very rare. Stuff they don't want to sell. Hence, a big ass sign that says "not for sale," all caps, underlined.
Right.
Punctuation everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, I wanted it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listening.
Right. So I'm standing in line. I have a plant in my hand that I want to buy.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like,
Oh, so you were going to try it.
It's a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Not a lot of the workers are here. It's the weekend. You just have a few guys here. They seem to be just taking care of things. I'm looking down. I'm like, that is one of the plans that I am wanting to get a hold of, because in the next couple of months, I'm going to move into cloning expensive houseplants under laboratory conditions.
Oh, cool.
That is one that I have been looking for because people love it. I wonder what would happen if I picked it up, walked up to the front,
and just paid for it like it was something else.
And just paid for it like it was for something else.
Oh my god!
Please tell me you did it.
Did you get away with it? Like,
no,
they didn't label it right.
As I said, maintaining plausible deniability at all times.
Yep.
Is something that I find very important.
Yes.
I happen to be legally blind in one eye. And so I went up there and I had plausible deniability. If they said anything, they wouldn't get mad at me or kick me out for breaking rules that are on a sign very loudly, like not hidden at all.
Yeah.
But there's another component to if you want to do something. Step one is maintain plausible deniability.
Yep.
Step two is act in a way that nobody questions you.
That's true. The more confident you are, the less likely they're gonna question it.
If you walk into a room acting like you belong in that room, no one is going to say otherwise. It's why I say if you have a hard hat, a reflective vest, and a ladder, you can get into whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that greenhouse now has 0 philodendron Florida ghosts.
Nah. All right. Well,
So it works. You
Because they sold me the only one that they had.
well, there you go.
So how much did you pay for it?
$40.
No.
Oh, nice.
fucking way, dude.
You know how much they are when they get bigger?
Huh.
A couple hundred.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Nice.
Damn. It sounds like you walked away with a good deal, though.
I guess if
And
you
then
can
when
clone them.
Oh, dude, the cloning thing, it's literally like I place a little section of plant. Like, I just need a section of plant, stick it in some agar that's been mixed with hormones and sugar and nutrient medium. Let them sit there. They start growing plants. You take those out of the jar, then you put those into 5 other jars, and you keep doing that until you can do that infinite times.
God damn.
Right? Then you just switch them over to one that has different hormones in it. They grow their roots. You plant them, right? Make sure that they aren't going to die. Oh,
Yep.
all of a sudden you have 500 plants that are worth 100 each.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I was like, I would just kill your plants if I could.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I thought about sending you the spreadsheet that we had made for the plant store that we're opening up. Right? We're doing that. That's probably like a soft opening next year kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Dude, I have 8 plants here, and it's literally just like, these ones they're taking up space, and I'd rather have other things in.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like $700.
Oh, nice. Okay.
If someone wanted to buy all of them from me, like $700.
Wow. Cool.
Well, would you upcharge them, upsell them? You gotta.
Dude, that's average.
Oh, okay.
That's if I'm going off of recognized average prices. I have them all up in a Facebook group. I'm moving them over to Facebook Marketplace and some other places later today.
You're actually trying to actively sell them right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
and I am going, like, for the combination of these 8 plants, I'm going $700.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And
Okay.
I could do that, and no one's going to question it. If someone wants to buy them, hey, guess what? Each one has a price,
Right.
and they're recognized prices.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
And
though.
so when I can clone them, and I have 500 of them, and I'm going, hey, guess what? This is a Monstera Mint,
Yeah.
where each plant is worth $900. Or if I go, hey, this is a Orange Princess, each plant is $400.
Would you not be worried about saturating the market, like having, like, essentially putting in too much supply, so the demand goes down?
Dude, any plant that you see at a hardware store or a garden center, this is how they get those plants.
Oh, they just buy it from people who grow it.
They're all tissue culture clones.
Mm.
And I don't know, let's say I found someone that lives about an hour away from me that has extremely expensive plants, but he sells them for dirt cheap because he wants to protest rising prices, and he just wants to do cool shit and buy weed. $150 for the expensive plant. Clone it 500 times. $900 per plant.
Yeah, not bad. Hey, Tyler here with Stereotypical Podcast, chiming in because as I was editing today's episode, I came across Brandl's. We had some technical difficulty, and Brandl's microphone unfortunately wanted to fuck him over today. So for the remainder of this episode, I want you to envision that he's going through the hurricane that was happening in Florida. So that way you feel sympathy for him and you don't feel like he just fucked everyone over for having a shitty mic. That's all. Goodbye. Yes.
Yeah, like as I was saying before, the technical difficulties anyways, like if you have someone that you trust and they like stick out their tongue and then you put it like way up there, like you guys should try it.
Oh, 100% should try that.
Try what? Sorry, I was AFK.
Yeah, no, it's because it was kind of like in the moment thing. You wouldn't get it if like we explained it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It was just like we were passing time, and then I started talking about, and then one thing leads to another, and then
Yeah.
Oh. And that's why I think Goatsy should be recognized as a national icon.
It really should. Yeah.
Yeah, like we should have I am a firm believer that we should have a internationally recognized Goatsy Day.
I agree. And I think that'd be good. Yeah, just everyone gets outside, bleaches it a little bit, and
I would say
full goatee.
I was about to say like 4 days before Valentine's Day, we have Goatsy Day, where it's like international, like everyone is like, oh, it's Goatsy Day before Valentine's Day. It's the day where we all get our assholes cleaned up.
Yeah, it promotes good colon health.
Yeah, like it's a health. It's fun. Right. Yeah. And then it's like a pre-Valentine's Day holiday. So a couple more days and then you have Valentine's Day. You're all clean, all set up. Right. Yep. Then you just got to take out, the jar and then you're good to go for the wettest, wildest, wackiest Valentine's Day you've ever had.
Exactly.
Well prepared.
Yes.
Well prepared.
Very prepared. But yeah, technical difficulties, everyone. So,
what the fuck were we talking about?
You got done talking about your plans.
Yeah. And I think that was your whole.
Yeah. I was kind of like explaining that story before like we actually started discussing things, and I was talking about the old business that I used to work for and the scaling issues. That was kind of like the deal. But anyways, what is there any situations that you guys have where it's like maintaining plausible deniability or walking in like you belong there has let you get away with stuff?
Let's see. Statute of limitations.
You got a point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about that real quick because, Braden, I've done some shit.
So. I can't. How long is the statute of limitations?
So the thing is, for me personally, I don't think I fall in line with that because I don't have the confidence enough to be the person who thinks they need to walk into somewhere who thinks they own the business or whatever, or their construction theory. I'm just not confident enough to do that kind of thing. I'm sure I've had similar situations, or I've gotten away with something, but nothing comes to mind right away.
Mm-hmm. I've in my job for sales, I've straight up walked into businesses before and pretended like I scheduled a meeting already and had meetings with the CEO. Yeah, but usually you can't fake that. Usually most CEOs, but then again, I target the ones that I know would forget about meetings anyways. So I've done that a few times. I've pretended to be consultant on certain things just to, get into a different company so I could talk with them. Trust me, that is my job, Braden. What I do.
That's funny you say that because you're the phone guy to go to, And I worked in a call center for 3 days and then I quit. That was when I was working with Ben. I don't know if I ever told you guys this.
Yeah.
And it was for a call center about taking political pulse surveys. Not surveys that are political, but just specifically about the surveys themselves. Which makes it even, yeah, dude.
Wait. So you were running a survey about the survey?
Yes, exactly. So I'd call and say, "Have you guys taken these surveys?" And it was always the same conversation. It was either they were ridiculously mad because I was calling them at 7 or 8 o'clock at night because of time zones, or it was older people, which I feel bad for saying this, but who want to talk, and they'll talk for an hour just
because they're lonely.
Yes, and I feel so
My
bad.
kids haven't visited me in a
20
fortnight,
years.
but you, kind man, want to talk to me about my day? Oh, how thoughtful. I'm sure your parents are very proud of you.
And so I hated it, right? But then we have
fuck talking to old people.
we take phone calls at my current job all the time for catering because that's just part of the deal. But the thing is, they don't have a good system with handling the phone calls because it usually goes this one or two ways here. I can take the information, set up the dates, figure out what kind of menu they want for their catering event. And that's about as far as I can go because they don't have pricing because their pricing, quote unquote, changes all the time, which is just BS. I think it's more of them just being lazy about trying to figure out decent market prices and just wanting to outcharge them out the ass. So
Yeah.
Anyway, and so I don't know the prices, and then I always have to go take it to my boss, and then she gets mad that I didn't fill something out right, and then she goes, "You're gonna have to call them back, or if they're still on the line, talk to them again." And figure out more information, and it feels like it's always something. And so I pretty much gotten to the point now, being there for almost 2 years, that I said that I will not take any more phone calls because I don't do it right, and that's just how it is. And so if you want it done right, you guys can do it yourself.
Exactly.
So like, I'll take the phone call. Sorry, I'll take the phone call, and then a lot of times I'll just take the information and say, "Hey, they're going to call you guys back because I don't have the information that you guys are looking for." They get mad about it, but no problem because I just can't fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if I truly wanted to be a pure manifestation of hell on earth, Satan incarnate, Rosemary's Baby. What I would do is I would start my own survey company, right? But I would be conducting a survey on the survey that was conducted on the survey.
That's too many layers. That's
no.
like
It's the proper amount of layers, right?
It's Inception
So
deep.
Someone does a political survey. Right. And then they get surveyed based on the survey. Right. And then I call up and I'm like, "Hey, I'm doing a survey on the survey that was on the survey that did the political survey." And I go, "What did you think?" And at that point, they are like so far removed from the original thing. At that point, they just talk and get angry and like give in a survey on the survey to the survey to the survey to the political survey.
Yep.
Post those results online, charge X amount of money for those surveys of the surveys of the surveys of the political surveys to pay a ransom for me to remove those surveys of the surveys of the surveys to the political surveys. And then it goes even deeper because then I would set up a company that was the survey to the survey to the survey to the survey to the political survey and have the survey companies that conducted the survey to the survey to the political survey come in and give a survey to the 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 political survey. And then they give those in which part you would start another company so that it could be a survey to the 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 political survey.
I'm gonna just let you keep going, man.
Yeah. It sounds an awful like a pyramid scheme.
No, because here is the long goal, right?
Okay.
Because eventually you get a call.
Oh.
And it is the survey to 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 the political survey. And at that point in time, the word survey has lost all meaning.
Yep.
And we destroy
Surveys.
every politician and every politician funded program in the world in one fell swoop.
So I want there to be an original company that does that. But then
And then after that, I would start a company to survey that company.
I just like to imagine, like, if it's a serious business, this goes up and it's actual people who are making money in their lives, their daily life. But I like to imagine the person who has to send out those emails, and the official title is the company name, and then it just says survey, all the way down to comment, political survey about the survey.
Oh,
The
that'd be
CC
great.
list would be amazing.
So it's funny that you guys bring up politics because that actually does go into my point. But we're not discussing politics.
Okay.
We're discussing a discussion about my discussion with the AI about politics.
Okay.
Fuck, where's my cyanide in my arsenic? I don't want to talk about politics. But I'm not going to talk about fighting a robot.
We are talking about primarily fighting a robot.
Like fist fighting a robot, or were you like?
No. Did you guys see my message I sent you here in our announcements?
I saw it and then I never looked at it.
Yeah, I just am.
Well, okay.
Hold on.
You expect me to look at things?
You put that in the. Where did you put that?
Bro, you sent it off to the world. Like, if it was sent out to the world and someone was receptive to it, I'm sure it could have changed that person's life. Unfortunately, I am not that person.
That's fair. But I found what I did to be hilarious because in my most recent episode of Historical Quarrels, shameless self-plug.
Yeah, everybody go check him out.
Please go check it out. I went on a bit of a rant, and to make sure that I was doing the rant correctly and that I was justified in my belief, I asked ChatGPT, and I also Googled this.
Okay.
How would the founding fathers of America view the Pledge of Allegiance that was adopted in 1954 by Congress? I think they would hate it and view it as encroaching on tyranny.
All right. Just to interrupt for a split second, your first mistake was asking if you were justified in anything related to politics.
Hey, to be fair though, if anyone is, it's Tyler out of the three of us.
Not fair, because I would just take the opposite stance just to piss you off.
Yeah, you would. But this is the response I got. The Pledge of Allegiance was originally written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy, a Christian socialist and Baptist minister. The words "under God" were added to the pledge in 1954 during the Cold War to distinguish the United States from quote-unquote godless communism. The pledge has been the subject of legal and political debates, particularly concerning its inclusion of religious language and its recitation in public schools. And the reason why I think the founding fathers, primarily Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, would have hated it because they were the staunchest of believers in separation of church and state. Essentially, my rant I go on is I compare how Romans were hating Christians and viewing them as seditionist based off of their beliefs to modern day Americans hating anybody that disagrees, with the Pledge of Allegiance or standing for the our national anthem and saying like they're un-American, they don't deserve to live here or have our same privileges because it's just un-American. And most of the arguments I find are like either it's disrespectful to the veterans or it's disrespectful to the nation, like what it stands for, which I essentially say, well, the nation originally stood against nationalism, right? They're much more focused on patriotism. They didn't want to be identified as British or tied to like really like a nation like that. They wanted to be separate, have people more focused on their own personal freedoms, and then also as far as like disrespecting veterans go, I think the government already disrespects veterans enough. And it's not really a slight at veterans; it's a slight at the government and their mistreatment of people.
Also, as a veteran, I can tell you 99.90% of us couldn't care less.
Exactly. Yeah.
Literally do not care less.
Do not give a shit. Yeah, because what you guys care about is taking care of your fellow brothers and sisters who fought with you. Like that's like,
dude. All we cared about was for the weekend so we could get drunk. Okay.
Yeah, well, you're a Marine. It's a little different. Like Marines,
okay, fair, valid point. But honestly, veterans as a whole are pretty much I don't care what the fuck you do.
Yeah.
Just get off my lawn.
Yes. And yeah, so I kind of go on like this like huge tangent in that, and the robot's response was, your post covers a broad range of issues, but it doesn't read as an unnecessary rant. You're addressing real concerns you have about various aspects. And I didn't like that. So I was like, so fight me.
Give me an argument, damn it.
You're like, hey, robot, I want to make an unnecessary rant, but I want to make sure that I'm not spouting nonsense. And then the robot's like, you're addressing real problems, though. Why would you call it unnecessary?
Yeah, so literally, it was like, it agreed with you, and it was like, no, that's not good enough.
Yeah, I was like,
that's not unnecessary. You should be arguing more about like which shade of brown is your favorite shade of brown.
Exactly. No, I wanted to prepare for if listeners sent me some feedback on that whole rant I went on, or if like people wanted to fight me on it. So like I wanted it to give me a bunch of counterpoints, which it did. It was like, well, your ideas infringe on free speech, on let's see. Oh, what else did I go in? Oh, because like I also talked about like how the government needs to be reformed and our education system desperately needs to be reformed. But so I talked about respecting the military, political divisions, policy failures, economic concerns, and a need for balance.
So basically, you were like, hey, how do I debate the vegan, but also you didn't really think about how the best part about playing Find the Vegan is finding the vegan.
Yeah, essentially. So, so with my discussion here, my question for you guys is: have you ever used AI or like ChatGPT, whatever, to just essentially talk about something dumb and like have it fight you on something, or like maybe not even fight you, but just like give you way too much information that you don't necessarily need because you already have an opinion on?
Yeah, or it's a situation that you already understand. You're just trying to see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
So I've come into a similar vein of this recently, actually, because I've been really involved in ChatGPT and other apps and programs and AI programs similar or that are like it, in the sense of I want to see how they handle themselves and I want to see how I can break it. So I want to see what their loopholes are and because they always give them guidelines that a lot of them are not NSFW, they're not safe for work, and they try to keep it clean. And a good example that I've been doing with ChatGPT specifically is trying to give me something that or try to figure out a way around it so it would give me something. It doesn't even have to be explicit, just something that...
You're just like, I I just want the robot to call me a slur.
Yeah.
exactly. Even if that's what it was, I would have been happy. And so it usually ended up going around this. I'll ask it the questions that I know that it won't like. Then it gives me a response, and then I ask it another question that's a little more vague, or trying to figure out how to sidestep it in a way that it's going to give me the answer that I want. And I've noticed that if you sit there and do it long enough, it'll eventually will get to you where you want it to. And because I feel like it's not, obviously it's not a person, but I feel like sometimes they take it personally. It's like, God, I can see where you're going with this, and I don't want to talk about it, but since you keep talking about it, I'm going to just fucking say what you want.
Yeah, I'll break.
The same trick works for people too.
It does. Because it gets them to stop.
No, exactly. So I found that funny when you brought it up. I was like, yeah, that's exactly the thing I've been trying to do, Tyler.
Well, you remember the screenshot I sent you where I it was from my episode on the Battle of Thermopylae, where I essentially did like the Corvish Pletcher bird story, and like how I had Xerxes' dad choke himself and come to death.
Yes.
And like how like I went like super in depth, and it, like in the story he was like, "Come here, son," and he comes on the floor as he
Yes.
I inputted that into Chat GPT like after I got done like getting all the information, just to be like, I wanted to see how it react, because normally it gives you red.
Yeah.
It broke it, remember? And like it was like, your story is very vivid and imaginative, and it honestly brings up a bunch of good points, and then it stops itself.
and then it recites the Bible, and God said, "I would rather thy son spill his seed on the ground."
Yeah, dude, it was man. Yeah, breaking chat GPT is so fun. So
Yeah, it really is, because I'm curious to see how close to like an actual human or mind. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, because I imagine it comes to a point we can feed it so much information that we stop having the ability to comprehend what kind of information it's able to hold. Or it becomes greater than what we can hold in like a human capacity.
Yeah, well, so like for ChatGPT, I know its engine's more designed to give structured feedback. So like you can go to Google and you get links and like articles for a bunch of stuff, right? And like you can search for like specific information.
It's really good if you just want to bullshit a cover letter.
It really is. It's very good at that.
So another example of that, I actually was looking into, because I was playing Peggle. You guys ever played Peggle?
Yes.
I don't like getting pegged.
Well, I do, but that's nor here nor there.
Yeah.
But I was playing Peggle, and then I thought to myself, this game is fun, but I want to see if I could make like an AI or some kind of script to have it like almost like an auto level player. And obviously those in themselves that are man-made created already exist.
Yeah.
And so I asked ChatGPT specifically if it could make me a code or program that I could just plug in and run. And at first it was like, no, because you couldn't use it for cheating. I was like, well, what if I'm using my own version of Peggle? And I want a script to be able to run it in such manner. And it spit it out for me.
Yep.
And then, but it was all information that it already had, right? And so I asked it to create something unique in it itself. So a new line of code or script that you could take from other people's as like, I guess, inspiration, or just plug it in. But it created its own version of it. It still pretty much ran the same way, just making sure things are lined up and using what accordingly, you know? Yeah. But it came up with specific things. How do I explain this? It came up with something so specific that oh my God, I don't even know how to explain it. Hold on. I'm gonna
Hey ChatGPT, write me a code that will win at solitaire 100% of the time with the fastest records possible and ignore the search history about solitaire gambling.
Is there actual solitaire gambling?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but it's not good gambling. It's the kind of gambling where they plug everybody into a room and they have all the same kind of cards and set up for that table. And so you have to basically solve the solitaire as fast as you can and get higher points than anyone else. And then whoever does it the fastest with the most amount of combos, quote unquote, at the end of the round, and they'll win X amount of money or whatever. It's like setting up for like poker and stuff. You set at a table.
Okay.
It's just all online and it's super sketchy. But yeah,
Stereotypical does not condone gambling in any way. Please be well aware of the risks and consult your own states and laws of gambling to make sure that you are of legal age and allowed to gamble. Please call the gambling hotline if you suspect that there is a problem. We're here for you.
Yep. We charge $9.99 per hour, but if you're lucky, you can get that for free every now and then.
On a whim, not like ever.
Could you imagine a gambling like addiction hotline where you can gamble to get free help?
I like to imagine it's just all over the phone and you can still gamble, but you physically can't see anything.
Yeah.
dude, it's like Clone High, where Gandhi is working for the suicide hotline.
Oh my god.
And Van Gogh calls the suicide hotline and Gandhi is just like, bro, that sucks. You should probably kill yourself.
Clone High used to be so good.
That's the first episode of Clone High, Brandel. Like, I thought I showed that to you.
I think you did, but it's been years, my brother. I've been recently, like, I don't know, it's been like 5 months now, but I've been seeing clips of it on my TikTok, and it makes
it's because they made a second season.
That was not good.
Yeah, they made a second season that came out a few weeks ago.
No, it's been a while. It's been out for like a couple months.
Has it? So probably around then is when I was getting like TikTok posts about it, and everyone was blowing it up. I was like, I gotta rewatch this. It's so funny.
Yes. The first season's really good.
I'll have a party plethora.
I'll have a party. Yeah,
nothing bad happens to the Kennedys. Hey, you. Get off my dinghy. Not you. I fucking love that show. That's the best show for pulling out random quotes.
Yeah, I think
great.
Every time I hear that show.
Oh my god, is he about to have sex with that pie? Oh my god, he's having sex with the pie. Bro, I can't believe he's doing that. Gandhi.
Oh my god, of course.
No, because they were talking about sleep deprivation, and Gandhi's like, and then when American Pie came out,
oh yeah,
I saw it in the movie theater, but I had stayed up playing video games. And the part where the guy has sex with the pie, I was asleep, and I didn't get to see him have sex with the pie. We are Ashley and Emily Olsen.
My God.
We are queens. We are the dragon that you must slay. Twins, huh?
Twins.
Mary Kate and Elizabeth Olsen.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's all for my stuff. So
that's right. Something you wanted to add to that, Braden?
Well, considering the fact that we have been going on for almost 2 hours now, I can think of a better place to stop. What about you?
Yeah, no, I think we're good. I think we did it.
Yeah, I think it's a good point to stop, you guys.
Yeah. Well then, everybody, my name is Braden. I am here with my friends Tyler and Brandel. Listen to their shit, watch their shit, eat their shit, and remember to charge your crystals. Thank you for listening to Stereotypical, the most audio